Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. So today, I was going to go through the talents. So as you can see, we're in Tontus, which means I'm on my alt, because it is tagless, so I can, jump in here and have a look at all the talents for clans, guilds, and the unions and stuff like that. We'll go through them all. I'll give you my sort of interpretation of what you're going to try and pick and stuff a little bit. At the same time, a lot of them are very sort of reliant on what you guys are up to. Like maybe you don't need 100-man union, maybe you're sat at 80 or something like that. So a lot of these, you pick and choose a little bit depending on your current situations and potentially future situations. So there's a bit of that to go through because I have had a quick look before, and some of the buffs are huge. Now, something I won't be able to show off are things like the operation or the organization operations, the clan building specific stuff, and the guild building specific stuff. This is due to the fact that, again, this is in the hub. So there's 18 hours before this alt can actually get into a server. So it will be going into Kane's Venetici. So if anyone wants to help me test some stuff out, I will be setting up a clan to start off with, getting it to the point where we can build the clan specific warehouse thing and having a look and see what that can do, and then probably deleting that union and then doing a guild and doing the same thing for the guild. Again, it is an alt, and I don't care about winning a server or anything on that, so be aware that if you are going to come help me with that, yeah, that's where it's at. So probably be called Cyber Combine because that's my Discord name. So if you do see a union, you do fancy helping me out with that, it will be PvE focused, not probably going for maybe some couple of little level 2, level 3 cities or something like that, but it's generally just going to be mostly staying neutral and sort of yeah, like I said, checking out the clan stuff, checking out the guild stuff. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a look at the talent trees for clans, guilds, and unions. So here we are in the create an org. As you can see here, we have the clan, max seats 30. That means you can only have 30 players at max, and the clan exclusive talents. Clans may be small, but they have everything you need, and all members have an inseparable bond. We have the guilds, max seats of 50, with guilds exclusive talents. Guilds have a considerable size while maintaining a certain degree of flexibility. Its characteristics remind me of a cultural relic of the ancient errant sphere, a sword. Don't understand that last bit. Union. Max seats 100, union exclusive talents. The large size of unions allows unions to project the power of their orgs to the most remote corners of the star system and manage all their affairs. So I'm going to start off, we're going to go through union, guild, and clan because I'm probably going to make a clan right here, right now to join that server with. So at least puts me on the same screen and stuff like that. So union talents. At level 1, you've got a 2-option choice. You have the org operation cluster. This increases the number of org operations that can be created by the union. This is the one where you can send fleets to, and your commander can have access to those fleets. And your space stations bonus increases by 100%. Space stations refer to cities. 100% bonus on cities is generally not that great, so I'd probably recommend here the org operation cluster. One thing to note is I don't know if the 100% bonus will affect things like Trojite cities. If that's the case in Trojite cities, you may want to think about taking this because this could make or break the Trojite server for you. But again, I can't confirm that at all. So that's going to be something that needs to be tested. At level 2, you get no strength without unity, max union members plus 20, and action points management. Union members action points recovery plus 5. If you do not need those 20 members, plus 5 action points is actually a pretty damn big buff. And this is actually really interesting because I'm sat here going, it could potentially be worth running maybe like multiple unions of 50 instead of 100, just because of how strong some of these talent effects are. We then have Pack of Wolves, command seats under the commander plus 2. This means 2 extra fleets can be added to the org operation cluster. We have the joint effort, giving the delegate command increases the action points of org operation by 20. Again, increasing the amount of AP usable by your commander within the org operations. Something to quickly note, so when I mentioned I think these will affect the org ops, I was correct. Unions are all about those org ops. At level 4, you get the no strength without unity, again giving you another 20 potential members, or space station bonus increased by 150%. It's almost certain that you're best off taking the extra 20 union members here. Like I mentioned, the space station bonuses really aren't too much. Yes, potentially stacking is going to be a lot more useful, but at the end of the day, they're mostly just giving resources, and 90% of the time when you get to end game, your guys are mining those resources for themselves with absolutely no issue anyway. So I don't see the benefit of the space station buffs, the city buffs, regardless. At level 5, you get Space Fortress. This means that all the defenders at your cities get an extra 20%. There you go, 20% extra cities. Garrison damage control. Recovery of your space station defenders plus 45%. Now, if I'm reading that correctly, and what they mean is when you attack a station, you have a timer. That timer is 1 hour. You have 1 hour to take that station before the recovery of those defenders. This almost halves that timer, in theory. Again, this is something that we'd have to test. If this halves the time, that means that level 7s, 8s, 9, well, 8s, I don't think there is 8s in the game. I don't remember seeing an 8 anyway. 7s, 9s, and 10s for certain are going to be extremely difficult to try and grab hold of because the higher level cities, the 5s and 6s, some of the time, unless you're like a very, very strong union, can take you like half an hour to get all the fleets and the city down. And this is like on that borderline where if you're a little bit miscalculating the amount of fleets you've got and damage, you're going to have to fight 2 city fleets, and that's not possible. We have United wins 3, max union members plus 15 versus United lobbying. Your union gains an additional 50 org prestige points if you achieve the highest rank on the star system development rating. Your union gains an additional 30 org prestige points if you achieve the second highest rank on the star system development rating. Bear in mind that org prestige points are currently only used for the shiny towers that are in the hub that you can purchase like a block of flats in, or an office. So generally United wins 3 will win out here. So at the current moment, if you start with 50, there's 2 here that you want to take that, the 150% bonus and the org prestige points you probably don't really care about. So you're now up to 85 members. You then have the org operation cluster and the org operation expansion plan at level 8. Org operation cluster allows you an extra org operation, and the org operation expansion plan increases the area effect of the org operations. From what I've seen, this almost doubles the size of the org operations. In my opinion, this does outweigh the org operation cluster in the majority of the time. The time that you may want the org op cluster is if you have very, very, dedicated squads and you need multiple or more org operation clusters for each of those squads. If you are more just of a everyone get to the front line, the larger operation circles here will help you out. We have no strength without unity. This gives you plus 10. That's going to sit you at a nice 95 members. Or you have rating lobbying 2, which is just a better version of rating lobbying 1. Again, I personally don't think this is at any given point worth taking. Org Operation Cluster 3, we are again increasing the amount of ops. Like I mentioned earlier, this is going to depend on how many dedicated squads you've got and squad leaders. They may want to, have their own orgs, org operations each. And we also have the org operation max action points plus 100. This one's definitely more important if, say, you plan on doing a lot of the delegation of fleets yourself because you have guys that are in different time zones, guys that are mostly AFK, they've just sent their fleet to help. So in that case, you'd pick this. If you have active players and squads, pick the org operation cluster. No strength without unity. Here's your remaining 5 union members, or you can have a union base military port command points plus 100. This is 100 extra command points, I believe, and it has to do with the org operation and how many command points can be sat in there. But I'm not 100% certain on that. I would need to check it and test it. Either way, you can go either way here. I mean, 5 players isn't going to make much of a difference. Again, the 20 players down at here is something that I would personally probably try and skip for the union members' action point recovery. So I'd still be sat at like 95 or something like that. Oh wait, no, they start at 30, right? I think they might start at 30. If they start at 30, then it would be, you'd be sat at what? Plus 20, plus 15. So that'd be 65. So going up to 70 maybe with a plus 5 might be worth it. Or am I miscalculating? Is it 80? Because I'm skipping... Yeah, it must be 80 because I'm skipping the 120 for the extra action point recovery for all members. Again, it's either, one or the other. Both are very good in their own right. 20 extra members, if they are active members, fine. This is probably better. If they're not active members, as most of you guys that lead unions will know, you will find that, you could probably kick 20 members quite easily and take the extra 5 action points recovery for all your other union members. This is a very strong buff. So that's the union talents. Let's go check out the guilds. They have max seats of 50. So guild talents. We have Port Officer, the Guild Port Officer position. This has to do, again, with being able to make org operations. And it also has stuff with the military resupply and the building that they get, which is, I can't remember what it's called now. We'll find out in a minute. I'm sure it's down here. Guild members can purchase an additional 3 resource packs from the trading post every day at level 1. This effect's actually very strong. Very early in the game, you are genuinely quite reliant on using trading posts to purchase those resource packs. So being able to purchase an extra 3 to just give you a bit extra, this will allow you to, supplement your building of trying to get the base tech up. With the extra 3 resource packs, I could potentially go into fleets. Means you'll have a faster early game start up on being able to, actually get a decent or semi-decent fleet out. So this is actually a very strong buff. Again, this is extremely dependent. At level 1, if you can switch these as well, maybe level 1, you just pick this for the start, and then as you go along, you can swap that out to the Port Officer later down. If you can't do that, you're going to have to make the decision early or just ignore it potentially and go, okay, the extra guild port officer will be useful later. We then have Space Fortress, the number of space station defenders plus 20%, and we have your space station bonus increases by 100%. Again, I don't actually think these are worth going for. I'd recommend the space station defenders here. Going to give you a better defense at cities that you currently own, so that's my personal opinion there. You have the Port Officer 2, Guild gains an additional Port Officer, or you have the Guild's Dockyard, can be expanded and upgraded by 1 level. This is what the Guild Port Officers do as well. They can control the Guild Dockyard, which allows it to build ships, and then you have Guild ships, fleets and stuff like that. I have no idea what the effect of expanding and upgrading it by 1 level will do. I'm guessing it will have something to do with increasing the amount of time it takes to build ships and that kind of stuff. So this is potentially quite useful. Again, though, having extra guild officers, being able to, task the guild dockyards with stuff is also pretty good. Join hands, max guild members plus 10, or guild members max operations plus 2. Late game, the guild members max operations isn't generally that useful, so the max guild members here is probably going to take precedence over it most of the time anyway. Space stations, number of defenders at your space station, again, another plus 20%, depending on if the Space Fortress and the Space Fortress 2 is multiplicative or additive, is going to really make quite a big difference there, because that could be plus 40%, or it could be plus 20% and then plus 20% of that total max as well. And, well, both are pretty good at the end of the day. And, that's quite a lot of extra defenders to try and deal with. You also have the recovery of your space station defenders here, plus 45%. As mentioned when talking about the Union talents, this could potentially be extremely strong. And without testing, I'd still probably go Garrison Damage Control just to get it tested. If it does what I think it does, it far outweighs having 20% extra defenders, especially because you've already got 20% extra defenders earlier on. Join hands 2, plus 10 members, or the rating lobbying. Again, I don't really rate this. You are almost certainly going to take the guild members here. So you're now at plus 10, plus 10. Is it plus 10 the first one? Where is it? Join hands. Plus 10, plus 10. So I believe that will put you at... I think they start off with 20 members. I'll need to double check that. And there'll probably be a pop-up right now in the video that you're watching going, it's this many. So the join hands, either way, you're probably going to take. It's better. Dockyard Reserves enhances the defensive firepower of the guild's dockyard, or the guild's dockyard gains the ability to repair ships. If you are creating forward operation bases, and your guys can pull their fleets back to this thing and it repairs them, that's extremely strong. Again, the defensive firepower though, you need a way to defend it, and if you don't have fleets to defend it, that's potentially quite useful, depending on how much it actually gets. Either way, I'd probably take the fleet repairs here, because that is a very strong buff. And you generally want, if you can, you like to put, your building stuff closer to the enemy, because that means less travel time and stuff like that, faster reinforcement times. So do bear that in mind. We have Join Hands 3, plus 5 members here versus the Rating Lobbying. You're probably taking the plus 5 here, because I don't think the Rating Lobbying's, particularly useful. I mean, the Dawn Points are useful, don't get me wrong, but with individual agreements and stuff like that, you can generally, each member can get enough to buy the free chests anyway. So, and the rest of the rewards are skins and stuff. How much you and your members care about skins depends entirely on rating lobbying too, and that's both for Union, Clan, and Guild. Port officers again, or dockyard construction, plus 1 level again. Again, without testing, I have no idea what these can really do. This could potentially be very, very strong. We have Join Hands, plus 5 members for the end. So this will be, you're at 45 here with that, and then you're at 5 with that. Golden Fleet. Guild members max fleet command points plus 20. If you're at 45, because you have, all the joint hands up until this point, you're making the decision of having plus 5 guild members. That, on average, is 400 times 2. So you're looking at 800 fleet command points. Times 5, 4,000 fleet command points. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's correct. 805. Yeah. 4,000 fleet command points. And I'm not including, reinforcements here. If you're at 45 members times 20, you're looking at, 900 command points between everybody. Join Hands 4's technically worth it over the Golden Fleet. You also have the utility of the extra fleets the 5 members will provide. It's going to completely depend on how active your player base is. So there we go. That is the guild talents. Let's have a butchers through the clan talents. So we have Clan Butler, which I have to admit just makes me laugh a little bit. You gotta go for it, haven't you? Just because it says Clan Butler. And then you can you give it to, your logistics officers will now be referred to as the Clan Butlers. And they'll hate it. But you'll have a laugh and the rest of your members will. So the Clan Butler gives you 1 logistics officer versus increase the base facility resource production of clan members by 100%. That is actually a pretty huge buff. I struggle to see where you'd need the extra logistic officer seat versus 100% resource production of the base facility. The base facility is not smithing. Why have we got smithing? The forges and stuff that you can build in the base, and they get up to like a decent amount. This gives them 100% buff. That's a huge amount of resources to help bring in for all of your clan members. I generally think that's flat out better than, an extra clan logistic officer at the end of the day. We then have Deep Mining Tech, reduces the mining level of mining platforms by 1. What this, I think, means is that all of the mining platforms will get an additional, -1 to mining. So for an example, a BMP, which doesn't normally affect asteroids in that way at all, will now -1 all the asteroids in that area. So you could put this BMP on a level 6 asteroid and it'll be a level 5. Not particularly useful in my opinion, generally because it's inbuilt into intermediates and advanced platforms, and you don't generally build BMPs only to hog resources. So it's pretty useful for, like I said, not much, because intermediates and amps have them inbuilt. If they've removed them from intermediate amps, I could see an argument for them. At the same time, if you have amps out, you have large miners out. So then you're kind of sat in that situation where you're going, well, you don't really need it anyway. We have Share Joy. Reduce the mining level of mining platforms can be shared among clan members. This is potentially useful if you've got a late guy coming into the clan and you have, your intermediate or your advanced mining platform, and he's come to, borrow some resource and borrow your spot. He can then mine, and maybe he's still stuck at mediums. He can then mine from an amp level 6 nodes with no issue, which is, it's a nice little thing. Both of these are generally not great. I'd probably go for Shared Joy, personally. We then have Clan Butler 2, and we have the Clan's Warehouse can be expanded and upgraded by 1 level. Again, not entirely certain what the clan storage does. Obviously, from reading through all the patch notes and stuff like that, we know that the clan storage can store resources, and you can distribute those resources between clan members. So I don't really know how useful the clan storage is at the end of the day. That's a Mikasa Sukasa. Okay, yeah. The increased mining speed and mining platforms can be shared among clan members. Pretty damn good, this one. Versus the distributed collection effects of the advanced mining platform can be shared in clan. Distributed collection effects is where your amp can sit there and, you know, you can fly off and do whatever you want because your guys are just... Your miners going backwards and forwards between the amp and not needing to go back to your base. These are both very strong. The mining speed buff from an amp is huge, but the utility of not having to be near the amp to keep it mining with this is potentially bigger and allow your clan members to have that same buff. This is really hard. Generally, I think the clans like sound better than like most of the other ones, in my personal opinion, because the resource focus they have is just huge. We then have Space Fortress and the Garrison Damage Control. We've seen these before. You're a clan, you're at 30 members. The chances are you're going to struggle to take anything at level 5 and above. If you manage it, though, getting the 45% recovery of your space station defenders is going to be better than this 20% extra, defenders. We then have Tender Link, clan members +1. We have the rating lobbying again. Again, I'm going to say Tender Link here is flat out better than the rating lobbying. Experimental spatial positioning technology increases warp speed by 100% when clans members' fleet is on a transport mission to the warehouse. Clan warehouse can be expanded by 1 level. Without playing with the clan storage and stuff like that and what you'd use for, because genuinely you're PvE focused as a clan, it's difficult to really say which of these is better. Again, we don't know what this will really increase bar, you know, expanded and upgraded. I don't really know what that means. Expanded obviously means it can hold more. With the upgraded by 1 level, not a clue. The warp speed by 100% could be extremely useful if you do plan on using the clan storage a lot to help distribute the wealth between your members. So it's like a 50-50, mostly because I'm not really certain which one of these is more useful until I play it. Tender Link 2, we have the clan member limit +5 versus rating lobbying 2. You generally take Tender Link here. Clan Hub, max clan warehouse throughput +250. The amount of warehouse resources that flow through a hub is what determined its value, not size. Not entirely sure what that's going to do. Clan warehouse throughput recovery +30. There is some kind of limitation here, obviously, with the how much you can put into a clan warehouse at any given time, and it has to sort of maybe wait until you can add more to the clan warehouse. So difficult. Clan member +5, or we are a clan. Reinforcements that can be received by clan members' fleets +1. I don't know. I mean, +5 members is, again, was I saying earlier, 4,000 extra CP in fleets? It's pretty big. Versus reinforcements that can be received by clan members' fleet +1. If you have Omega Whales and, you know, maxed out Solar Whales, maxed out Spears, maxed out CTGs, potentially the addition of a single one of those could make a fleet remarkably stronger. So it is quite... It is sort of useful. At the same time, 4,000 extra fleet points flying about, not including the additional reinforcements for them either. Again, I think if you want the extra 5 members, you take it here. I mean, it's the same all the way. I say these are bad, but if you don't have the extra 5 members, there's no point taking it. You might as well take the rating lobbying. This is quite situational. Again, the 10 members. If you don't have 10 members to fill those spots, or you're not planning on it, take the rating lobbying. So, you know, end of the day, that's where it sort of is. If if you want the extra 5 members or if you want the reinforcement because you can't get the extra 5 members. It's completely up to you. With that though, that is the end of this video. We've talked about all the clan talents and stuff like that. Once I can get into a server, I can see what the clan building's like, the clan warehouse, what the guild's dockyard's like, and obviously the Union gets a better org control over the operation circles and stuff like that, the org ops. So, I don't know. Depending on how good the clan and guild's buildings are, it's potentially better to maybe halve your Union from 100 to 50 and go into guilds, or potentially even clans if you're PvE focused. And for, you know, Unions, it's going to depend on how useful it is to delegate fleets and give fleets out to a commander and stuff like that. So it is completely and utterly dependent on all of those aspects. And this is something that I can't currently comment on. It's going to be something we're going to have to try around, play around with, and stuff like that. Just quickly before I end this video, I just want to quickly say some of these pictures in the background look amazing. These are really cool. They did a great job on the artwork. Other than that, have a good one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.